carrying the envelope. Then we came across fake wedding party of 4,000 people being served drinks and fabulous dinner. Our observer walked in and he found that there was no bridegroom and no bride because it was a fake. Just to entertain the board. Then we discovered, as when we discovered this modus operandi, this became another part of our instruction to the observer. Then we discovered all the Mundan ceremonies, all the birthday parties of children, and all these ceremonies are only happen during the election time. Now, when we set up an expenditure monitoring division, that is another new thing we did. Under the senior commissioner from income tax department, Mr. P.K. Das is here. We chose him as a very quiet, solid man. We didn't want his face to be seen. So, but maybe the time has come for P.K. Das, get up and show your face. He came up with the great guidelines. People are actually looking towards you. They're looking at the back. Mr. Das, get up. That's it. Great job. We see 73 crores in the first set of 5 elections, 53 crores now. The fact that there is fear of God in the minds of workers and politicians, they really are scared to carry money. It is working, but they've come up with alternative modes. For instance, they are using pawn brokers, they give them advance money and they write off the loan. Nobody will get to know, there is no cash transaction. The RPRs are being used to pay off the debt. Many new modus operandi which we are discovering. Now, in this context, sometimes very often a suggestion is made that the only way to check the role of money power is state funding, which we find is not a good idea. In fact, again, what we are saying is, by the way, all that I am saying and all that we are doing is nothing new. All these have been on the agenda for the last 20 years. And they were compiled last by in 2004 by Mr. Krishnamurthy. I remember in one TV interview, I mentioned about the reform proposals and showed the person the booklet. He is one of the rudest anchors. So he said, Mr. Qureshi, why don't you get this booklet framed and show it to your grandchildren? Because it will still be valid then. So that is Mr. Krishnamurthy's booklet. So that is where it stands. But I am very optimistic that things are now moving. The delay has been for very unavoidable reasons, and I do hope before people's movement, street movements overtake the parliamentary institutions. I think we have got a window of opportunity, we have got enough wake-up call, and the government will respond. Mr. Salman Khurshid's bill is already ready with him. He just has to bring it forward. And if 21 out of 22 reform proposals are approved, and one is still dragged on, at least people will understand that there was really, because he has to carry people, he has to carry parliament with him. It's not just a question of he agreeing or his party agreeing. All parties have to agree, which obviously is not an easy task, but attempt must be made, as was being said. And I have a feeling this, Mr. Bakhlu, this meeting of yours may be historic. Thank you very much. Mr. Krishnamurthy, Honorable Minister, Mr. Nayanan, Mr. Bakhlu, and ladies and gentlemen. It's a great initiative and I'm very happy to be a part of it. As Mr. Krishnamurthy said, Indian democracy is something which other countries are also very in awe of and they respect it. My own experience also has been wherever in the world you go, and that must be your experience too. If they know anything about India, any part of the world, probably that one word would be democracy. And that in a way is our USP. We are a very large country, but not many people have an idea of the scale of the largeness. How large is the largest? 750 million voters is more than all 50 countries of Europe put together, plus 20 of South and Central America put together. 70 countries are rolled into one. The complexity and enormity and the tension and problems and diversities of 70 countries rolled into one. And still, this poor country delivers very credible election year after year, and the country, nation knows the result by lunchtime. It's a miracle. And with what credibility? Changeover of power of all these 60 years has been very, very smooth, never a dispute. And we have interesting examples in present-day cabinet. Mr. Khurshid, colleague Mr. C.P. Joshi. He was the president of the Congress party in Rajasthan. He lost by one vote. He would have been a chief minister, that's what we heard, if he had won. He lost by one vote. He rang up our returning officer requesting for recount of the postal ballots, because EVM doesn't need any recounting. 150 postal ballots, they were recounted in 15 minutes, same result. Second request was, can you redo the total from these machines? And another 10 minutes. His third phone call was to thank us for a free and fair election. Lost by one vote, did not think of an election petition. No, that is the credibility, losing by one vote and still accepting verdict with humility and with folded hand. That's the beauty of Indian democracy. The foundation for this great institution was laid by the framers of the Constitution, by making it a very fairly independent, autonomous body with all power to summon all kind of help, material, manpower, security, and this has worked very well. There was a time when muscle power, booth capturing was the order of the day, that they are now all history. But still we have a few challenges, few problems, which are now our current focus. One, of course, tainted people, people with serious criminal charges against them, regularly coming to the legislature, and the role of big money and tainted money in election. These are the two big issues. And a side issue which comes out of the second is the paid news, which is bothering everybody. All political parties are uniformly affected, adversely affected. The entire system is affected. Even 95% of the journalists are very worried about it, and we need to do something about it. Then voter apathy used to be one of the issues, and there used to be the suggestion that we should go for compulsory voting, which of course is not a good idea at all. Compulsion and democracy don't go together. We thought voter education was the route, and we have demonstrated. We set up a voter education division. We went for very scientific knowledge attitude. We have practice surveys first and then communication. 30% increase in turnout in UP, 45% increase in turnout of women in UP. This is a great indicator of people's faith in democracy. Much as some people make us feel from a low self-esteem for us as a nation. We are not a nation of all thieves and chores. We are not an inefficient, lazy, corrupt nation. There is a lot of good, a lot of strength in our democracy, which is vibrant and kicking. But this is not to say that everything is ideal. The problem is the two issues which I mentioned, the role of money and the criminal. We have a number of reform proposals which have been pending for a long time, 15 to 20 years. But to be fair to the government and Mr. Khurshid particularly, that for the first time in 60 years, Law Ministry did show positive concern. Mr. Moily, his predecessor, came to the Election Commission, discussed it for 3.5 hours. Then he came a second time to we decided we'll have regional consultations across the country, which are jointly Election Commission and Law Ministry, which we did. Two of the consultations, I remember Mr. Khurshid also attended, one in Chandigarh, one in Bangalore. They were highly successful consultation. And after that, we were planning a national consultation. Date was fixed 2nd of April, but that happened to be the World Cup cricket day, so it had to be postponed. Then second date was fixed again. The Prime Minister had given a date 2nd of July. That did not happen because that was the peak of Anna movement from Jantar Mantar. That was not the best time for a national consultation. It got postponed. No fault of the government, I would say, to be fair to the government, because it's very easy to use a politician as the whipping boy. because I personally feel that criticizing politicians all the time is very dangerous. You can't, as I always say, that you can't love democracy and hate politicians. There is no democracy without politicians. We are a virtual superpower thanks to political leadership. What else? Look at our neighbors. Where are they? Where are we? We got free at the same time. Where have they reached and where have they been? Where have we reached? Thanks to political leadership. Therefore, painting them all black, shaking people's faith in democracy, in the institution, is not a good idea. There is corruption, no doubt. People are fed up of that, absolutely no doubt about that. But at the same time, we cannot weaken the constitutional institution to improve the system. We have to work within the system. And then after 2 visits of Mr. Moily, Mr. Salman Khurshid came. As soon as he took over, he came to the Election Commission. And he said, look, I want to take it forward. And of course, we discussed some specific proposals which were pending. He promised us that he will bring it in the winter session of Parliament because at that time he was optimistic. But we are also not blind. We know the entire winter session of Parliament was taken up by Lokpal. In fact, when Anna Hazare came to meet me, I said, you have derailed our reform process. You are just on the brink of getting through because of your movement. Because fact is that the Parliament was kept busy. You have all seen it, haven't you? So entire discussion in the session was that. So therefore, if it did not happen, we did not raise a finger and did not criticize the government for its lack of political will. However, we were hoping that you will bring it in the budget session. When you gave a list of 30 or 35 or 40 bills which will be coming, and it was not one of them, many people from the people, civil society, media, politics, they pointed out, look, it's not there. So I don't know whether there is a supplementary list. Probably there will be a supplementary list, and it's very good, Bharat Vakluji, that you got the law minister right in front of you. There are people like Mr. Chawla who keep blaming Election Commission. The only people who blame the Election Commission, even now, is Mr. Chawla and his group, because they just promote Chawla, because they blame us for things which are not in our hands, which are actually in your hands. So I'm just warning you, cautioning you that his guns, which have been trained on me all these months, probably will stand directed towards you. So, but we are all there to safeguard your safety. Now, we have now some of the suggestions. These are 2022 reform proposals. One is, of course, to debar criminals from contesting, but I'm not going into the details of it because today the focus is on political funding. That is one area where we also need to be enlightened. Where we do not feel confident that we know everything, all the dimensions of this, and which is why I was very happy that Mr. Vaklu had put together this panel to deal with this issue, because we want. However, on the basis of what we know, the reform that we have been suggesting, that there should be transparency of political funding. It means all receipt and expenditure should be by check. Account should be audited annually by an approved panel of auditors given by the Election Commission, and it should be put in the public domain. The current reality is that the auditor gives very sketchy reports. He's been there for 10, 15, 20 years, and in most cases he's a member of the party. So conflict of interest. What fair audit can you expect? So we do feel that this will be a reform proposal on which there will be no problem. When I discussed it in detail with Mr. Khurshid, he was very positive about all the proposals, and except one which is a contentious issue. I concede that, debarring criminals, because the law of the land is that unless you are convicted, you are innocent. Although I have a counter question that in Indian jails today we have 4 lakh prisoners, of which 2,68,000 are under trial, which means not convicted, therefore innocent. if you can take away 4 fundamental rights of the innocents, like the right to liberty, freedom of movement, freedom of occupation, right to dignity, so right to contest is not even a fundamental right. So something, and in any case, the other the apprehension, all political parties, we had called a meeting of all parties, and unanimously they disagreed with that on this ground that sometimes there are false cases against each other. Instead of defeating you in the election, somebody will just file a false case and then you keep on fighting that case for years. So that could be an abuse of law. I'm sure some way could be found. Mr. Khurshid had actually found a solution. He has come up with some safeguard. Probably he would be mentioning about them to you. Now the main topic of today, the financing. There is this dilemma between transparency and privacy. Public demands transparency, but the donor wants privacy. The recipient wants privacy, because if a donor gives to one party, he is making enemies of all others. So, what is the way out of such a situation? Because he is happier to give in cash, they are happier to receive in cash. So, what is the way out of it? So, and at a time when the level of trust, public trust in the political system and politicians is low, which we must accept, then this issue really becomes very, very hot. We have seen all kinds of malpractices, they are always innovating. We came across a formula called Thirumangalam formula in Tamil Nadu. You also got the details through WikiLeaks, how a few thousand rupees are put on in the envelope and distributed through the newspaper. And they did not really bother to give it only to their target audience. They said, doesn't matter, give it to anybody, maybe they will get converted to us. As a result, people who used to buy one newspaper, they started buying 4 papers, because every